Today is November 20th, 2020, and you're watching and listening to the Bush League Bros podcast.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another edition of Bush League Bros Sports Talk. I am Brett Batchelder. That is Pauliakis, a.k.a. Polly Pockets. We're here for you guys. We've got a big week of the NBA to talk about. But before we get there, Mr. Pockets, how we doing, pal?
I'm doing great. Don't ever call me that ever again.
I mean, that's on you. You gave up a nickname last week.
Yeah. Or I should that should be my nickname moving forward is Polly Pockets,
I think
dude.
If you embrace it, Polly Pockets could be a strong.
It could get big. Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah. Polly Pockets is,
it's
got a good ring to it. I mean, there's a reason it was a top selling child's toy in the 90s.
Exactly.
So
we got to market ourselves.
Maybe I can bring that back, dude.
Yeah, I've got this sweet tea, in the hat. That's my thing. You're Polly Pockets. I think.
Yeah,
we can really work off that.
Little toys that when you open it up, it plays our podcast. Yeah.
Dude, a little Polly action figure. Look at that. I think this is a solid idea. I think this is great. Just have you saying random stuff about Boston sports teams. I'm all for it.
The fucking Celtics can't even make a trade, dude. What the fuck? Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I love that you got to get that real Boston accent in there.
Yeah, I got to throw that in there hard, yeah.
And then mine, I can have this little get up.
Yeah.
But he comes with, little candy corn toys.
Yeah, exactly.
He throws candy corn at people.
Shoots candy corn out.
Yeah, as I could be a Pez dispenser for candy corn.
Exactly.
Oh,
that sounds
man,
like the grossest. That would be the worst surprise ever if I was like, oh, Pez.
No!
It was fucking candy corn.
Oh, come on. Candy corn is much better than Pez. Much better. Pez are an overrated treat.
Pez is definitely overrated, yeah.
Garbage. Candy corn's delicious, although I will say, we got to get into this NBA talk, but real quick. Yeah. Last night, I was at my buddy Richie's house. We were watching the game, Cardinals and the Seahawks, which we'll talk about here later.
Yeah.
And he had this big thing of candy, and there was some candy corn on top. I'm like, ooh, let me get some candy corn. It was flavored candy corn, and the flavors were apple pie and pumpkin pie. That was the worst. Neither of them tasted like either.
Yeah.
Bad idea. I'm all in on candy corn still, but let's not mess with the classic. Just give me the classic candy corns or the pumpkins. We don't need to be doing this crazy. There's enough pumpkin spice to anything anyway. And if I want apple pie flavored things, I'm going to go get some goddamn apple pie, like an American.
Exactly.
Let's stop person. That. Yeah, like a decent human being.
Yeah.
But we're not here to talk about how you and I are amazing human beings or are just now we're finding this phenomenal marketing ideas here. We're not here for that. We've got too much NBA to talk about. And I'm pretty excited for. This show started in the middle of the bubble going on, and we were pretty much talking only about NBA, and then it was no NBA. But we're back, baby. This week,
it's back already.
We had the draft Wednesday night. Free agency starts at 6:00 tonight, which we are recording on Friday here. I think it is 6:00 tonight. Nothing big's happened there yet officially, but before we can even cover the draft, before we can cover free agency, we had two big things happen, and nothing is bigger. And let's get the sad news out of the way first. Then Klay Thompson, who missed all of last season with, I think it was a left knee injury, right? Am I correct? It was a left knee injury.
He tore his ACL, yeah.
Yeah. Now it looks like he tore his right ACL.
No, Achilles.
Achilles. I'm sorry.
Yeah, which is almost worse, yeah.
Yeah, I'm not taking either. I'll pass on both. Mm-hmm. But he tore his right Achilles, out for this entire season. We've since seen the Golden State Warriors trade for Kelly Oubre and give OKC their millionth first-round pick in the next few years. Klay Thompson, this sucks. I'm not a Golden State fan, but you want to see great players. I believe Dan Patrick said this yesterday. You want to see great players go out there and be great.
Oh,
and for me, selfishly, the Golden State Warriors have a chance to be one of those roadblocks for LeBron, so I'm all for that. So that's my thoughts on it, but I know you wanted to talk a little bit about Klay. What do you got?
I just don't see that being a possibility anymore without Klay playing. I think
either.
They'll still be a good team with Curry. And, obviously they still got Draymond and They just
Wiggins is going to have to step up.
Wiggins is going to have to step up if they don't trade him. It'll be interesting to see what they do if like they package anything to, get a different veteran in there now that this has happened.
Well, they got Oubre, but I don't know if that necessarily.
It changes their plans, though, really, like overall. Yeah. So.
Well, I believe the GM came out and said we're going for it this year. I think he said that last night. We're not going to it's not going to be like last year if people stay healthy. And they had a good draft pick. I like that they got it too, that center. But
yeah, I mean, yeah, it just sucks, dude. Because Klay Thompson is definitely you always want to see like the best players play, and now it's going to be a full. 2 full seasons that will not have seen him on the court. And
if he does come back.
Yeah, I mean, I think he will. I mean, luckily, like
he'll try.
It's different than like DeMarcus Cousins kind of went through this where he got hurt and then he came back and like tore his Achilles again and was out forever and is still like who knows, he's a big man, so it's like he's never really gonna, I think, be back to who he was. Klay could come back at 31 and still shoot lights out. So there's that.
That is his upside. He is a shooter.
Yeah, there's that upside of it. But it just sucks, man. The main thing I was thinking though, I was like, damn, like, and I think they already actually partly did one of these, but this will be like the only, how like every time an NBA player gets hurt, like and gets like a long-term injury, they like make a documentary about it, like or like an NFL player, like they tear their ACL and it's like
Alex Smith.
Yeah, Alex Smith's a little different. Like that was like
yeah, they did it, but they did a documentary on him coming back and
but I'm trying to think of one that like I saw, like it's like any guy that gets hurt, there has to it's mandatory. They have to make like they have to make the documentary of the comeback, like where I don't care. Like you're not the only guy that this has happened to. Like I don't need to watch an hour-long documentary.
But you would for Klay.
But that's what I'm saying. This is like the first one that when we get like the whole package documentary of he missed the one season and then this happened, like, because I'm sure right now in his head, like that's what I mean. If you're a professional athlete and all you want to do is go out there and compete and he was so close to getting back, like there's got to be a factor of like real sadness that goes into that. Like he's got to be down in the dumps right now, and you just feel for him because it's his livelihood. That's what he does. I mean, luckily he still gets paid, right? Even if he gets injured, it's he's got
they got guarantees.
He's good in that way, but he's sure
he's a competitor
be on the court. Yeah. Exactly. So I'm excited for the Klay. I think he already had one that came out recently, but I didn't watch it because it was one of those where I was like, all right, like, yeah, you tore your ACL and you're coming back. Like, that's all. I know you've done rehab for a year. That's what you're supposed to do. So, but this, now it gets interesting. Now it's like we can almost make a movie out of it, right? So
I don't know if I want to watch a movie, but I do want him to get better. I mean, I'm not a Golden State fan. The way Steph Curry carries himself kind of annoys me. And he's a good person, but just on the court, the shimmy and all that. I'm not a big fan of Steph Curry. He is one of the greatest, if not the greatest shooter of all time. Yeah. But what I will say, outside of the Spurs in like the 2015s, Golden State Warriors, when they're all healthy, play one of the most beautiful brands of basketball you could ever see.
Oh, yeah.
Would it work in the 90s? Maybe, maybe not. I don't care. Right now, we have it, or we had it right now recently. It's beautiful to watch. It's fun to watch. And it's a bummer. Like, it's a bummer not to see these guys at full strength, to see what they can do and see if they can go back and.
I mean, you can make the argument in terms of runs by a team. That run of when they made the finals for 5 straight years is right up there with.
It's one of
90s Bulls. Yeah, like in terms of like a team, they're
obviously the 90s 3-1
Bulls,
lead, but yeah,
90s Bulls are above them. Yeah, they blew the 3-1 lead. It kind of got blown up with that, but. You can make the argument that in terms of like a dynasty or, a team that's made a consistent run, that run was just as good as any team ever.
I would you got to put, I would say Bulls, Showtime Lakers, Spurs, your Celtics in the 60s, 70s. If you want to do 80s, you do 80s or 60s. Yeah. I mean, we can argue level of competition back in the 60s, 70s. Oh, I don't really care, but they were tremendous. I think Golden State belongs in that conversation with him for sure. So
yeah, because I think the difference is with those other teams is that besides the Bulls, right, the Warriors at that time were hands down, even though, there was years where they, kind of took the regular season off. Like there was never a moment like where you weren't like, okay, the Warriors are the best team in the league. That like, and not many teams do that for that, long of a time, for 5 years. It's nearly impossible to keep that up. So the sad thing is they had the potential for that to be back this year, where I'm not saying they would have been the best team in the league, likely not, but they had the potential to be right there again. And we may never, due to this, we may never actually see that again, like that squad, that at least core group back together. And I mean, who knows like how much Draymond's really got left in the tank.
Yeah, I mean,
he'll play, right? Like he used to.
I think they were trying to slowly get away from that type of. I think they were trying to evolve a little bit by drafting that big man, number 2 overall. I think they were kind of moving that way anyway, to where it wasn't going to be the Splash Bros and Draymond. But I think they were going to evolve into something that would have worked, and we would still have, those wet threes going in all game. So it's a bummer that we're not going to see it. Can't talk about it all day because just got too much NBA stuff to talk about. But we both are in agreement. We want to see Klay come back strong, and get one more good run in, even if it is with Golden State and they annoy me. Still want to see it happen.
I'd love to see him on the Celtics, dude. Come on.
I mean, I'd love to see him on the Magic, but we can all dream, and ain't gonna happen. If I'm Golden State, I'm holding on him as long as I can.
Yeah.
Someone who is not being held on to, Chris Paul.
Yep.
We already mentioned that it looked like he was on the trading block. Talked about how Kawhi was trying to get him to the Clippers, although we don't know how you can recruit players that are actively on teams under contract. Doesn't matter. Didn't go to the Clippers. CP3 is now on the Phoenix Suns with Devin Booker. How do you feel about that? Do you like that backcourt? Do you think?
You got
I mean, they had they played great in the bubble. They went 8-0, I believe,
Suns, dude.
And they got to be better with him than having Kelly Oubre and some first-round picks that haven't been picked yet, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, people seem to have like this idea that like Chris Paul is washed. And I think I told you, like, I would want him on the Celtics.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like in a heartbeat.
What he did with OKC last year?
That's what I mean. Like he is probably the main reason that squad was in the playoffs and, competing. And I think he's got plenty left in the tank. He takes care of his body, similar to, I mean, he is injury prone. Let's not get, twisted. Like he could easily get injured and pull his hamstring, and who knows what'll happen. But I think we'll see the Suns legitimately in the playoffs this year. I think that this is.
I think this has to put them over the hump, yeah.
And I guess, I mean, at least for the time being, Booker is not getting traded because it looked like that was what was going to happen.
You can't now. You can't trade. You can't trade.
You're keeping Booker and you're giving it a shot. I mean, these kind of moves though are like, I don't know. When I see teams make these moves, it's strange to me because I'm like, okay, maybe this gets you like the 7th seed in the West, but like, what does that really get you?
Like, I think they could go. I'm not picking them to now win the West. I still think the Lakers are going to have a lot. No,
and that's what I mean. Like, this gets you to maybe the 7th seed in the West, and that's.
I think they could be in the middle. I think they could be anywhere between 4 and 6. Look at how good they played at the end. I know, no fans, bubble environment. We don't know what we can make out of that, but. I have never been on the Devin Booker train.
Yeah.
He really started to win me over because it wasn't him just throwing up shots. He was leading his teams to victory.
Yeah.
Brought them when they had no shot to get to the playoffs. They almost did it. If Portland didn't play out of their minds and win that, their last few games, it would have been the Phoenix Suns playing Memphis for that tiebreaker.
Yeah.
And who knows who would have won that. So I'm in on him, and you're going to give him a veteran like Chris Paul who's going to show him the ropes, show him how to be a leader.
Yeah,
isn't a ball hog. I think this is going to be phenomenal.
That's the big thing about Chris Paul is obviously he's still very talented, but I think the main thing he brought to OKC is that was a young team, and he was like, okay, like this is how you prepare like a professional, and this is how you know what I mean? Like that's the one thing you can never like.
If he could make that OKC team, if he can make that OKC team a middle Western Conference team in the playoffs, why can't he do that with a better, more talented Suns team?
He's going to show those guys. He's going to be like, like this is the work you got to put in to be good, like to be great in this league. And that's what I think he left in OKC. And we knew like he wasn't going to stay there. I think everyone knew that was like a 1-year thing with him being there. I mean, he's still, I think he's set. As good as he is, I think he's set to make like $44 million this year.
I'm not paying him that much money, but
yeah, right. Like it's ridiculous, but that was that was the contract he signed. And is he worth that much? No, but
he's worth something.
Is he still like a max player per se?
I would still say he's a max player. I'd
it's
really
so
love
crazy
to see...
with those contracts. You know how like a few guys had those. We're never gonna. I mean, we might at some point, but those contracts aren't gonna be like no one else is signing a contract like that, at least for the time being, with everything that's
tried to get James Harden a $50 million year extension. He said no, and we'll see if Giannis signs that 5-year, 280-something supermax deal tonight, or 330. Mm-hmm. He's got an outline. So I think we'll see some higher tiers, but you're not going to see the Chandler Parsons
for the top
of the world
making. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
You can't do it. It doesn't make any sense.
Who was the guy that signed with the Lakers and got paid? Big white center dude. He got like $60 million guaranteed. And I don't even know if he's on the Lakers anymore. Why am I blanking on his name?
I don't know who you're talking about. I don't remember any white center. Paul Gasol is. I don't know who you're talking about.
Anyways, they're not giving out Chandler Parsons contracts anymore.
Even Chandler Parsons.
Even like a Gordon Hayward contract right now, which you saw that he opted out.
I don't know. It's on the rundown. Yeah, we're gonna talk about that in the free agency section. But
like it's wild, man. Yeah.
We'll see where it goes. I mean, free agency. We'll talk about that after the draft. It is opening up again tonight at 6:00. Will be exciting. We'll talk about it here in a second. But before we do that, let's talk a little draft, right? Had the NBA draft Wednesday night. Not as exciting, not as many, I was hoping for some more top-heavy trades to see if the top 3 would trade out, see what was going to happen. I was hoping it would get a little more wild. But before we go in and break down who went where, talk about how your Celtics and my Magic did, how we feel about it, we got to discuss something. And I hate I have Hulu TV. They have live sports. I cut the cord, as they say. So I don't have NBA TV anymore. And I thought I did. I thought I had NBA TV. So I went to go switch because after 5 minutes, I was absolutely done with ESPN's draft coverage.
Yeah.
Just like with the NFL draft, where they were talking about everyone's dead relatives or other sad stories.
Yeah.
We get it. I don't want to minimize what these people had to go through, but we don't need to hear depressing story after depressing story after depressing story. We're happy that they're there. This is supposed to be a happy occasion. Mm-hmm. But no, let's talk about, hey, you just got drafted by the Sacramento Kings. Let's talk about your dead brother. What are we doing here? And Malik, it's hard for me. I understand. We're students, okay? We're not experts. We're not being put in these situations. We don't know what the producers are asking for.
Yeah.
This whole show, Malik Andrews, probably very talented. I haven't seen a whole lot of her. Her tone was so this is the draft. Let's be excited about it. Yeah. Hey, congratulations. It was, hey, Anthony Edwards, you were drafted number 1 overall.
Number 1, yep.
How do you feel? How do you think your dead grandmother and mother feel about this? Like, have some energy. If we want to do 30 for 30s on these guys' careers when they have them, great. But I don't need to hear all this depressing stuff. I don't need your dead tone. But that wasn't even my least favorite part about this, other than the fact that they didn't offer any comparisons, any kind of real highlights of these players throughout the entire thing to let us know who they were as players. This guy is my least favorite person on ESPN now. Mike Schmitz. Okay. Right. Did you notice this guy at all?
A little bit. Draft? Yeah, I was working during some of this, but I did catch.
So you know Nick Wright on Fox Sports.
Yeah.
And I don't like Nick Wright. I think he's like, one of these Colin Coward, Skip Bayless, let's make a hot take just to make it. But they look exactly alike. And this guy was trying to act like this guy, I think. He just seems so pretentious. I don't know what LeVar Ball was paying him to talk so good about LaMelo. And LaMelo may end up being the best player out of this draft. I don't know. Nobody knows.
It's debatable, yeah.
There was no Zion. There was no LeBron where you go, okay, if this person stays healthy, this is the guy. Yeah, I mean, I think this was a draft that will contribute to teams, but there's no clear-cut, hey, that's the
superstar.
Dude.
Yeah, there's no canvas players in this draft.
And this guy was just first of all, an obnoxious personality, and I think I just lost my video, but I'm gonna.
We did. Keep it rolling. Keep it rolling. You're coming
I'm gonna
back.
keep it rolling. Am I coming back? Am I here?
No, you're still black.
So I'm gonna unplug, but I'm gonna keep talking here.
Yeah, keep talking.
So I'm gonna keep rolling. This guy, what was his name again? Mike Schmidt or whatever the heck his name is.
Mm-hmm.
He's coming in. There I am. He's coming in, and he's clearly looking because Woj and Sham Sharani were tweeting what the picks were going to be before ESPN announced the pick. It happens every year.
I have a take on that. It's like that was the thing. Is like I don't need to watch the draft. I just look at Twitter and Woj tells me who's getting taken like 5 minutes before the pick.
That's what I ended up doing after a while. Because like, what I wanted to watch
doing that for 5 years. Yeah,
give me highlights. Give me a breakdown of this player. Help me understand because I did do a lot of. I don't do like the NFL draft. I'll study players for months. I'll get into it real early. NBA draft, I typically wait till the week of. Then I start getting really excited. Okay, let me see who the first round prospects are. Let me learn a little bit, but I want to learn more. That's why I'm watching the draft coverage. I'm absolutely watching Woj or Shams spoil the picks before because I want to know. But that's clearly what this guy Mike was doing. He was you could see him at times looking at his phone, and then they go, "Oh, who do you think this pick's going to be?" And then he would try to bloviate about how he's going to get, they've got to go LaMelo here. Oh, they're picking Precious, whatever his name is. Yeah. And then, like, you could just see him acting like, yeah, I got that pick right. I knew. When everybody could tell this guy's clearly just looking at Woj's Twitter. It was absolutely obnoxious. ESPN, your coverage stunk. And I'm not going to forgive you for it. And that's why I haven't watched an NFL ESPN draft in probably 5 years.
Yeah.
It's not worth it. And I don't think I'm ever going to watch an ESPN NBA draft if all you're going to give me is dead relatives, somber tone, and some guy stooging off a Woj for 3 hours trying to make himself look like a genius. It was pitiful.
Yeah, it's surprising to me that you've just caught up with this because what I would say is I've been on this train for years now where you don't really even need to have the draft on. I'm just as soon as the draft starts, I'm just popping on Twitter. I'm feeding through the misinformation that's going out there, trades that are happening. But obviously, Woj is going to be on top. Woj is the guy, man. You get your information from Woj regarding the NBA. So why would I even listen to what's happening from ESPN? Yeah.
I don't care when ESPN announces the pick. That's what I'm saying. I want to watch it so I get, the breakdowns. I like to watch, even though I don't think they're always accurate. I like to watch the player comps. And, that's the other thing. Let me go off on this Mike Schmidt guy here for one more time. Schmitz or whatever. There was a few player comparisons.
Yeah.
But this guy, so the shooting guard, I can't remember his name, the shooting guard out of Florida State that got selected in the lottery. This guy, his player comp for a shooting guard who was 6'6", was Anthony Davis. Anthony Davis, a 7-foot power forward, was his play. As soon as he said that, I can tell you that's when I turned off ESPN. I said, I'm done. Mm-hmm. This guy's going to compare a shooting guard to a big man. This guy doesn't even know what he's talking about anymore. This guy is a clown. I'm done.
There's a reason why no one's really watching ESPN nowadays. They just had a bunch of layoffs, dude. There's
more.
As much as they're still the worldwide leader in sports, man. I mean, there's a reason people don't want to watch them anymore. They've, they were very political at certain points. They've strayed away from that. They've basically fired.
I haven't watched
everyone that was political, and they they've stuck to sports basically now.
I don't know.
But
is Max Kellerman and what's the other guy that is the Republican, Wade or whatever the hell his name is? I'm talking about. That does the first take. No. I mean, everyone likes him. I don't know if he gets political.
No, I don't think he does.
I don't know. Are they still?
He just screams. Maybe it's just because he does NASCAR. Like he just screams like I'm a Republican to me, even though I've never even heard him say that.
Stereotype. I mean, you're probably right. You probably ain't wrong on that one.
But no, I mean, there's a reason why people. There's really not many shows that are doing well on there right now, and I'd like to see. You brought up that you would have loved to see TNT do this draft coverage, and I definitely would have too.
They're not gonna see. I think if ESPN was gonna have people cover, I'm okay with Jay Billis being on there. Jay Billis, and I think they had Jay Williamson or whatever on there, former player, and then the college basketball guys. Those guys are great. I'm perfectly fine with them being on there.
Yeah.
break down. Don't give me the boo-hoos. Don't give me these ridiculous, this guy's Anthony Davis. Break the players down. Why is Rachel Nichols, who is phenomenal? The Jump is a great show. That's one of the few ESPN shows that when I'm home and I want to watch sports, I'll watch The Jump because I think she's absolutely phenomenal.
Yeah.
And I think she does a good job playing off the players. Yeah. But yeah, TNT, Kenny the Jet Smith may give us some real insight, but I don't need that. When I'm watching them, I've got Shaq and Charles Barkley telling me how these guys stink, or Shaq's like, oh, this second-round draft pick better give me 30 points and 20 rebounds in the playoffs, something absolutely stupid. They would at least be entertaining about it. Yeah. And then they have Ernie Johnson just being the class act that he is.
Of course.
I'm all for that. I'd
much rather see them do the draft. Yeah. I feel like once the playoffs are done, those guys have like the best gig in the world because.
Oh yeah. Well, Charles is not going to go play golf with Steph Curry.
Exactly. Like, once the playoffs are over, they're like, we're out of here. We ain't doing anything.
And good for them.
Until next season. Yeah. So, I mean, that's the thing is like they've blown away in terms of like their coverage of NBA.
Yeah.
And because people relate to them, though, it's less about
because they're human beings. They're fun. Like if you're not going to give me, and I know Kenny does the big board stuff where he breaks down plays, and I do enjoy that. I think he does a great job with it. He's kind of more of the color guy that actually fills in the blanks. Mm-hmm. But if you're not going to give me a lot of substance like I'm looking for, at least be entertaining. ESPN, not entertaining. TNT guys, that's one of the best. That booth might be the best booth in all of sports right there. I mean, you could say Nance and Romo or great, but the most entertaining has to be the TNT guys. They're absolutely hilarious, and I think they would be much better.
Yeah, best studio in the world. You're right.
So let's get into the actual draft, though. Let's do that. We want to get into some positivity, have a little fun here. First pick in the draft, everyone was wondering, was it going to be LaMelo? Was it going to be Anthony Edwards? Turns out the Timberwolves stayed and picked. Mm-hmm. They selected shooting guard from Georgia, Anthony Edwards, number 1 overall. A lot of people on Reddit and, Bleacher Report and all these sites are questioning whether he even loves basketball because he said, hey, I would drop it for football, but this looks like it can make me more money. I don't have any problem with that. What I think we both have problems with is how he hibachis.
Absolutely.
Right? Do you want to tell the story of what's going on with Anthony Edwards and a hibachi?
Yeah. So the supposed story, and I don't know how credible this is, but apparently, it's been put out there that he likes when he goes to
a teammate that put this out there.
No, I saw it from someone that like wrote in that worked at
someone that worked at the restaurant
that he had visited. Yeah. And he brings his own food. Like he had done it so many times that they asked him to stop coming back because he just thought he could bring his own food to the hibachi and cook it on their grill. Just a wild move. Like that's like I would draft him just for that.
I think it's smart.
Like it is. I mean, I guess it's smart.
Who's gonna stop him?
I think it's just like it's such a confidence move that like I would be like, damn, like I gotta take this guy because his confidence is off. If he's doing that type of shit at hibachi restaurants, I mean, I gotta take this guy. So I love that move. The thing about the basketball part, I don't love that, right? For a couple reasons. It doesn't necessarily matter in terms of can he still be productive as an NBA player? Can he still be a superstar potentially someday? Sure, right? Yes and yes, right? But where that matters, where when someone says something like that, where that matters is like when you're in the playoffs, game 7, and you gotta like dig deep to win this game. That guy's not doing it because he doesn't care. He doesn't care about basketball that much. Yeah.
This is where I disagree with you because I don't think he just. It's not that I don't think he doesn't care about basketball. He just says he doesn't love it like he loves football. And I got, I don't. Let me cite where I'm getting my opinion from. Who kind of turned the tide on this because I didn't love this the first when I heard it too, but I want to hear what actual players have to say. Let me go back to the Jump. Rachel Nichols had Vince Carter, Matt Barnes, and Kendrick Perkins on there. Obviously, Perkins, old school, did not like it. Yeah. The other two guys, Vince and Matt Barnes, they were a little more forgiving. And Matt Barnes was a dog on the court. Was he a superstar? No. But I love Matt Barnes. Matt Barnes always played with that grit. He was always ready to go. Yeah. Kobe didn't flinch, even though, it was my Matt Barnes on the Magic trying to do it to him. Matt Barnes, total stud. He said, hey, look, I was a football player. I went to basketball because I saw it could make me more money. Yeah. But the dog from football that was with me came over with me into basketball, and that's why I played like I did. And he goes,
Yeah.
This guy, when he played football, Anthony Edwards, was a dog as well. And he saw that when Barnes was watching him on the court.
Yeah.
He saw that in Edwards while Edwards was playing in the short time they got last year because COVID kind of screwed everything up. Mm-hmm. So really it is kind of a crapshoot this year, sure. And Vince Carter was also really the only concern Carter had was he's like, you're either a dog or you're not. It doesn't matter if you're on the football field, the basketball field. This guy's a dog. But I don't love that he doesn't want to watch film. He doesn't want to watch basketball because when it comes playoff time, you're going to want to know these guys' tendencies. And he said, look, and it was funny because Kendrick Perkins really dug in on him. But Carter was like, look, I just got out of the NBA. I know this generation. Mm-hmm. They don't watch a lot of basketball. They'd rather go play video games, do whatever they do. And Kendrick Perkins was like, yeah, that's why the Hawks never go to the playoffs because they're all playing video games instead of watching film. Great point, great dig. You got to love Kendrick Perkins. But as long as he can, learn the importance of the film room and watching basketball, I'm not worried about the dog in him. We're not going to know till we see it. But I like this pick. I think he's going to compliment D'Angelo Russell. And I'm more worried about Karl Anthony Towns not having any dog in him than I am Anthony Edwards.
Yeah, exactly. It's not a great guy to pair with, someone like
but I think D'Angelo Russell is a dog. And so I think they can feed into it. And D'Angelo Russell, is he a great player? No. But down the stretch, that guy is ice cold. I think those two will be – I like that pairing more than I care about Cat because I think Cat's absolutely overrated. And Jimmy Butler kind of showed me what Karl Anthony Towns was, and shout out to Jimmy Butler for dating Selena Gomez. Well done, pal. But I feel good about this.
Who's he dating?
Selena Gomez is the rumor, dude. Yeah, that came out during the draft. Like there was pictures and there was this whole thing on Bleacher Report how he's getting some Selena Gomez. You can't. Hey.
I'm gonna stay firm though on my stance with that. Where
that's fine.
Yeah, if you don't can you name anyone that's ever been like an elite player in this league that didn't just love the game of basketball at its core? Like these guys, anyone that's like a star, they love the game of basketball. Like these guys, like they would play it. They would play it even if they weren't getting paid.
Yeah, I don't think you're wrong. I don't think your point's wrong. I think we're just gonna have to see. But a lot of people on Reddit were going, "Oh, they just drafted Andrew Wiggins 2.0." Andrew Wiggins has all the talent, but I don't think he cares about basketball. But he doesn't have any dog. Where I differentiate, I think Anthony Edwards is too much of a competitor, even though he may not love basketball as much right now. I think he can fall in love with the process. And I like this pick, and part of it is me being selfish because I wanted the Magic to trade up and get rid of the farm to go get him because I don't know what an explosive shooting guard is. Hashtag Evan Fournier. Please go away. But it is what it is. You want to talk about some LaMelo?
Let's do it, bro.
Let's do it. So LaMelo Ball did not go first, did not go second. And the I told you so hat that LeVar was wearing did not quite work out. It is pretty funny.
Right? I was like, there should be an asterisk on that. Because he said all his sons would go top 3 in the NBA draft, right?
Correct. And he said Lonzo and LaMelo would be number 1 overall picks. They were not. I mean, me personally, if I could be a 3rd overall pick, I'd be okay in life. But
yeah, you were like, in terms of like proclaiming your sons are all going to be drafted in the NBA draft, you are pretty close. I'm not going to like knock him too much. Yeah,
he did good.
He did good, yeah.
But I can't stand LeVar Ball. Good for you. You got 3 sons, 1 in the developmental, 2 that are going to play for who knows how long. But LaMelo does go number 3 overall to Charlotte with MJ. I don't even know if I care so much about the fit of LaMelo Ball.
Yeah.
When are we getting the pay-per-view LeVar Ball versus Michael Jordan 1-on-1?
Yeah.
Like, I'm thinking that's the only reason Jordan, I'm wearing his Toon Squad jersey right now.
Yeah.
That's the only reason I think Jordan wanted LaMelo Ball is so he could get LeVar in the building because he took, as he says in The Last Dance, he takes things personally. I think he's built this up in his head. Yeah. All he's dreamt about for years is LeVar saying he's just going to back him up and skyhook him all game.
Yeah.
I think we're going to watch a slaughter. I think we got to get
something that like Jordan was like, he's like back in the gym, dude. He's like working out, dude. He's getting back in shape.
Oh yeah, he was working with Gilbert Arenas and a few other guys, and they're like the dude's still like. I mean, he's 50+ years old. He's not Michael Jordan anymore.
He's coming back.
He's still got that wet jumper.
Come back 3.0.
I mean, he might be able to play now. I mean, no, who's guarding?
No one's guarding mid-range. No one's
guarding
guarding
mid-range.
mid-range. He could kill it, dude.
And he's got one of the greatest mid-range.
He probably still put up 20 a game, dude. Yeah.
God, could you imagine what he'd put up in today's game right now? Oh my!
In his prime, yeah, he'd be.
Oh my God!
He would have. He would have had.
Sorry, Harden.
Yeah, he would have had. If he played in this era, he would have had a season where he averaged 40 plus. I guarantee.
He would be the other guy with Wilt that would have 100 points in a game. I have no doubt about it.
Yeah, probably. You're right.
No doubt about it.
The thing is like, how good would he have gotten at the 3-point game as well? If he really was
he was okay at the 3 towards the end of his career. But it was not something that
it wasn't a big thing in the 90s though. Like people didn't shoot.
But if it needed, I mean, he's Jordan. If he needs to hit the 3, he's going to learn how to hit the 3.
Yeah, exactly. So no, in terms of
he's going to make up some backstory about how the 3-point line offended him, and
Yeah,
but anyway,
it's interesting to me that he went there. I don't know, like, I assume Jordan has some intake on this. He owns the team. I'm sure he's not.
Jordan did. It came out. Jordan did say, "Hey, if he's available at 3, I want LaMelo."
Yeah, and part of that might be that who else are you going to watch on the Charlotte Hornets right now?
This is a money move right here.
Yeah, exactly. So Jordan's eyes always on the money.
Right. Smart man.
I mean, LaMelo, dude. I think he's got potential to be a better player in this league than his brother, for sure. Like, if you think that
offensively, I agree. Defensively,
absolutely.
Lonzo is the better one, but it's an offensive league right now. So I agree with you.
And
sure.
I mean, if you've seen though, like I watched some highlights on him before this draft of like when he was playing in Australia, and it's like not great, dude. Like he scores and it's like similar to how he played in high school. I don't know if you ever saw him. He was like
he's not an efficient basketball player.
Like he's a good distributor. I would hate to play with him. He is a good passer though. Yeah.
He's a good distributor.
Yeah.
I worry about between the ears what this kid's going to be like. Just because he's already got this Kardashian following. Does he think he's better than he really is?
I mean, I think his ceiling is because he's got size. He shot up there. He's like 6'8" now, 6'7", 6'8". He's not quite as big, but he's got like potential, like Ben Simmons potential that can shoot actually, which
I think he does. His upside is better than Ben Simmons because I'm kind of out on Ben Simmons.
I mean, Ben Simmons just is never apparently going to learn how to shoot the basketball. So at least this kid can shoot the ball a little bit. When you get to the NBA like this too, like I think the difference will be, once you get to the NBA like this, and it becomes your it's been his profession. He's been playing professionally for how many years now, right? But it'll be like serious now where it's like you need to be in the gym putting up, 500,000 shots a day. Like, the thing with him is we're going to see him. He's going to like pull up from 30, like at least 4 or 5 times a game. Just
sure because. He will.
Yeah. Which
he
will be
he's Steph Curry, but
yeah, it'll be hilarious. Like it'll be great to like see him. It's and I guess almost a better comp would be
fucking
why am I blank? Trey Young, like in
I think Trey Young is a much better shooter than LaMelo
but
Ball.
In terms of like they've kind of just let him do whatever the first couple, you know what I mean? They've kind of just let it. Oh, okay, it's Trey Young's team, like, and then I think that's what you'll see with the Hornets is like, all right, it's just gonna be LaMelo.
Why not?
Let's let him do his thing and then see what we got after a year or two, and maybe we got a guy that we can really build the team around. Maybe we don't. I mean, if we don't, we're still the Charlotte Hornets. I mean, why not do it? Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we'll see where it goes. This isn't making me want to watch Charlotte anymore again. As I said, I'm more interested to see if LeVar and Michael go one-on-one than I am to see how Charlotte is. Yeah. But maybe it works out. Maybe it doesn't. I'm more interested, though. Your Celtics and my Magic had some picks. Some pretty good. I think we did okay on both ends. Yeah. Let's talk about your Celtics first. You guys had the 14th overall pick and the 26th. You got Nesmith and you got Peyton Pritchard at 26.
Yep.
I like the Nesmith pick. He was someone I was eyeing for the Magic at 15. If we got rid of some of our forwards, like please get rid of Aaron Gordon. Yeah. But good shot selection. I like this. This guy's a good shooter, good offensively. Yep. What is your thought on how your Celtics did in the draft?
It's a shooter's league now, draft shooters.
Gotta have scoring.
It's like, there's questions with this guy on the defensive end still, but you gotta
you guys have enough defense to make up for it.
Yeah, exactly. I think you got to surround guys like Tatum, Brown, Kemba. You got to surround them with shooters. And I think the Celtics somewhat lacked that a little bit, right? Like if this kid can step in and be be a spot up 3-point shooter, I think the Celtics could use that, coming off the bench, that, some of the guys that they've had in that role, Semi Ojeleye, or, we talked about my least favorite player, Brad Wanamaker, who they did release.
Gone.
And
yeah, let's go.
So if we can get some backup guard depth, and, someone that can be on the wing, popping in threes from the corner, I'm all about it, dude. It's what this league is now. You got to draft for how this league is. It sets up, some wiggle room to maybe move another guy with, a trade they may want to make.
I like this move a lot.
Yeah. No, I like it. I love
like this move. And I think this really, to me, this helps you guys with losing Hayward. Okay, you lose Hayward. You don't know. I mean, he's great when he's healthy, but when he's not, I mean, he's not helping you guys. You get a young guy that can come in, shoot the threes like Hayward could. Don't know if he's going to be Gordon Hayward-esque too early, but I think this was great. And I think you guys got better.
Is Hayward didn't. I think Hayward almost would have fit better in this offense if he had. I mean, I did love his playmaking ability, and I don't think this kid's going to bring that. But Hayward almost would have benefited more if he kind of had transitioned into, like, kind of focus more on, okay, I'm going to get to, like, the 3-point line and, like, get my.
He should have taken over the Rashard. If you remember Rashard Lewis's role in Orlando, where he's going to get in the corner. We're going to go. We're going to dribble, drive in, play inside out. He's there, bang, bang, bang. I think Gordon could have really done good in that system, and we'll talk about him in a second.
Rashard Lewis, NBA, 2K, like 07 maybe even earlier, 05. Lights out in that game, dude. He's 99 3-point shooter.
Some little ISO, some little sweet Lou. I'm a big fan. He's one of my favorite Magic players of all time.
He had one of the prettiest shots.
That high release.
So quick, dude. High release.
Oh, so good.
Underrated.
He was. Yeah. We in Orlando will never
maybe not underrated, honestly.
The fact that hey man, you know what? It's all right. It's the only good thing LeBron ever did was help Lewis get a ring before he retired.
Exactly. Yeah.
Love Rashard Lewis. So let's go to my Magic here real quick. We traded away our second-round pick for 2 future second-round picks because there's something happening this week. I just saw on Hoops Hype and on Reddit that it looks like they were talking about a Russell Westbrook, Aaron Gordon trade. Doesn't look like it's going to happen. Doesn't mean it's not going to happen. Don't know if I selfishly, like, he's my favorite player. I'd love to have Russell Wilson or Westbrook on the Magic.
Yeah.
Also, though, it doesn't make sense basketball-wise. Like, I had to talk myself into liking our pick. We picked right after you guys. You guys had the 14th pick. We had the 15th pick. We picked Greg Anthony's kid, Cole Anthony, at 15 from North Carolina. We needed offense. And this guy can provide a lot of offense. We had no offense outside of Terrence Ross and Vucevic, who I think he's going to be on the team still, but I don't know.
Yeah.
But I think we needed a guard. I'm just glad to see us not get a power forward when we have $1 million on the roster right now. He can shoot. I have questions. I feel like every year we have to draft someone that has an injury history. See Mo Bamba, see Jonathan Isaac, see Mark. We didn't draft Markelle Fultz, but we brought in, who I love, Markelle Fultz. I feel like everybody we've drafted outside of Aaron Gordon has been injury prone in the last 5 years. But a little bit of scoring, got some guard depth. That means maybe we don't have to sign some of these other guards like DJ Augustine back for more money than he's worth. Good move. We'll see what we do in free agency. I still need to see us get rid of Aaron Gordon and Evan Fournier for me to be too excited. But for a draft, I think we did okay.
Yeah. No, I mean, I like the pick. I mean, you got to go with the former NBA player's son. At least it's in the genes, dude.
Yeah. And Spike Lee may be turning to a Magic fan. Since Tigers kind of ditched us, we kind of need a new celebrity, and the Knicks have kind of kicked him out.
Yeah.
He was there at the draft party for Cole Anthony. Maybe this works out well.
Maybe. Yeah.
I see he's got a little Fred VanVleet in him as far as, he plays tough. He's aggressive on offense. He's got a pretty good jumper. And I went from
Magic
lukewarm on this to
I saw something
pretty
come out
excited
this week that I think your GM said that, like, he likes your roster and is happier keeping your roster intact than blowing it up for a trade.
Which tells me that we're trading it. He doesn't want to. So Portland came out with an offer for Aaron Gordon. That offer absolutely stunk. It was the one that they gave to when they acquired Robert Covington. I guess they offered the Magic the same deal they offered Houston.
Yeah.
When you see what like Aaron Gordon is not as good as Drew Holiday, but if Drew Holiday can get you 3 first-round picks and Eric Bledsoe, you can get more than Robert Covington for Aaron Gordon for sure.
Yeah.
So, and if they're talking to Houston about a Russell Westbrook, Aaron Gordon deal with maybe somebody else and some picks on our end, that tells me Aaron Gordon's worth more than that. So I would like Aaron Gordon, Evan Fournier, and maybe even Mo Bamba to be on the move, but you got to do it for the right price. I have no problem with what they came out and said, but it looks like when they asked why the Magic traded away those 2 second-round picks when you could get some young depth on your roster, he goes, well, we got free agency coming. We're going to let some guys go. They did not send out qualifying offers to a lot of guys I thought they would. So they're opening up roster spots, which tells me there's some kind of trade coming. There's something planned in free agency that I don't know if it's going to be whoop-de-freaking-doo-ha. We just turned over our roster. We're phenomenal now, but it looks like they're going to do some tinkering, and I'm excited to see what they do in the next coming week or two.
Maybe Giannis, dude. Maybe they're going for Giannis.
Giannis will be next year.
Yeah.
Giannis will be next year, but, let me dream. If I can get Giannis, I'll be happy, but somehow illogically getting Russell Westbrook in a Magic uniform just sounds wonderful. It doesn't make any sense, but it sounds wonderful.
Yeah.
So that's the NBA draft. Pretty exciting. Not as many trades again as I thought there would be.
Yeah.
A lot coming out of that. Anthony Edwards learned how to use Hibachi. Let's talk a little free agency right now. And let's start with your Gordon Hayward. He did opt out.
Yep.
But while we were talking, I was checking to see if any rumors popped out. Looks like Indiana and the Knicks are the 2 primary destinations. Good news for you is if it's Indiana, it looks like it's going to be a sign and trade, so Boston will actually get something from Indiana, and Indiana has some pretty good assets. Can you get Victor Oladipo?
Do we need him? I mean, I don't really. I'd like him. I'd like him in a Celtics uniform, but it's weird. I want to get back to, do you think that was the right call for Hayward to opt out?
So it just depends to me on who's willing to pay. Would I pay Gordon Hayward $34.1 million that he was due this year? No. I like Gordon Hayward, the player, a lot, but I don't trust him to be healthy. But do I think franchises are stupid enough to overpay? Yeah.
Well, that's what I mean, though. But, like, if you're him, wouldn't you have opted into that final year? Because, like, you're never going to make that much money again.
That's what I'm saying. He might. I think he's taking a little bit of I think this is the Le'Veon Bell situation.
He's taking the long-term chance on himself.
Yeah. He's taking. I think this is the Le'Veon Bell situation. If I were him, I would absolutely opt in. I'm not.
I guess we view it in a different way, right? Exactly. It's like I would never leave $34 million in the table.
I would.
But I guess if I'm already.
But I see what he's trying.
Already, a millionaire many times over, maybe.
Yeah, he's doing all right.
I mean, I guess that kind of shows like he does want to. You know what I mean? Continue to play and go somewhere and sign a long-term deal. But, I mean, not that he didn't want to continue to play, but I don't know. I think you still opt into that and force the Celtics to trade you.
Yeah, I do.
So at least you're locked in for that. Granted, I think you do that and then – because, like, regardless, you go somewhere and, like, prove you can play, right? Like, the Celtics are going to try and trade him. I think maybe I guess his only fear would have been is that like the Celtics wouldn't be able to trade him at that point. Like it's already been established he's not going to be on the team next year, pretty much, right?
Yeah.
So I think the only thing that like maybe was you could think is that he was going to opt in and the Celtics wouldn't be able to trade him, and then obviously the Celtics didn't want him to opt in either. I'm sure they were pushing him, you know what I mean, away from that in that unlikely scenario that they couldn't move him and they got to pay a guy $34 million a year to come off the bench. That's like a nightmare scenario. You know, we're talking Al Horford shit that would happen to him in Philly, like just way overpaying a guy.
Have you seen? I hate to change that this year. Have you seen? Because Horford got traded to OKC from Philly. His brother and sister just have completely. Well, they roasted Philly. They are saying everything that I have said about the trash city of Philadelphia for years and how they treat their players. and how they treat people in general. That was really nice to see.
I saw some of the stuff that I follow. I think Anna Horford is his sister.
Yep.
That's pretty. She's pretty active on Twitter.
Very active on Twitter.
And I've actually interacted with her on Twitter because she'll interact with literally anyone. It's she's pretty funny, and she's always said that she loved Boston. Boston fans were good to her, and then obviously Philly fans are just giving her so much shit because her brother didn't do well there, and they overpaid.
I don't think that's Al Horford's fault.
It's not his fault. No, of course
he didn't make the decision to get overpaid for.
Yeah, but. And the funny thing is, as much as I like to sit here and be like, see, Boston fans aren't as bad as Philly fans.
Boston fans could be brutal.
He at least when he was with Boston, he was a contributing member of the team, and he was a valuable member of that Celtics team. So,
a defensive leader.
If we were paying him that type of money and he was doing nothing, she would have been dealing with the same shit from Boston fans. Yeah,
maybe. I think Philly. I don't think that fit worked out well at all. I think he'll be fine in OKC. He's not Al Horford on the Hawks or even with you guys anymore, but he'll contribute. He'll be fine. But I did see that. Thought that was kind of funny. Love the Philly vindication anytime I can get it. But there's not really anything else going on yet with NBA free agency, and I'm kind of happy about that. We're still about 5.5 hours away of this recording from it happening, which just means Sunday night or Monday morning when we record, we're hopefully going to have a lot of splash things to talk about. So we can mix it up because we got to talk some football here now. Bush League Bros, Brett Batchelder here, Polly Pockets, a.k.a. Polyakos over there. And are you ready to jump into the NFL, or did you have anything else NBA-wise that you wanted to wrap up?
No, let's do it. Let's get in the NFL.
All right. So we're gonna go through this really quick. I mean, we're already almost an hour into this show here. I know you guys got things to do this weekend. One thing I wanted to mention before we get into the picks and our records. Yes, I finally tallied our records up. Yes, Paul is winning. We'll get to that in a second. Drew Brees, though, he is out for an undetermined amount of time with 5 broken ribs and a collapsed lung. Ouch. In the rundown, I put that Jameis Winston was taking over as the starter. Comes out today, it is Taysom Hill, which is wild to me. I think that's a bad idea. But fantasy owners, maybe you give it a shot with old Taysom Hill. I'm not going to, but
he'll
maybe.
Put up some rushing yards at least. It is a wild move. I mean, they got to have zero confidence in Jameis.
Yeah. What has he shown that he's not getting the nod over?
And I saw not only that, they're we don't have any plans to get him in the game either.
I think that'll change pretty quickly, but I mean, we'll see. I don't know. But I mean, that is big news. We had to talk about it. Let's go into picks. So before we go into and if you guys have never watched or listened to us on YouTube at Bush League Bros, on Spotify or Apple Podcasts at Bush League Bros, every week we'll pick our locks of the week, our upsets of the week, and our home picks of the week, our homer picks of the week. I'm a Cowboys fan, as you can see right there. He's a Patriots fan, as you can see his terrible banners in the background. And, it's been a while since we tallied up the record. I think the last time we tallied up the record, you were 6-10, I was 10-7. How the turns table, as Michael Scott would say. After last night, we were both, even though I picked Seattle to win, I did pick Arizona to cover. You picked Arizona to cover. Arizona did not cover because of that, late field goal. And DK Metcalf killing me with those 2 potentially dropped touchdown passes in fantasy. Oh, my God. But Paul has scratched and clawed his way up going into these picks to 18-18. He's right at 500. He was at 18-17 until last night's game. I have dropped so hard. I am now 17-19, a whole game behind Paul after I was up, 3.5 games on you.
You're up big.
Yeah, I was up big. I have had some atrocious weeks. Last week, you went 3-1. You were 3-0 on the Sunday games, got the Monday night game wrong. I went 2-2, 1-2 on the Sunday games. I did correctly pick the Minnesota Vikings. Skull, give them their little skull thing right there. Not a big fan of that chant. There was some lady at the draft in 2018 that would not shut up yelling skull in line before the draft even started. Never wanted to punch an old lady so hard in my life, but it's something we're here talking about. Let's start with our locks, Paul. I'll go first. I've got the Miami Dolphins -3.5 at Denver. Denver has been super up and down. They've been impressive. They've been unimpressive. Miami Dolphins have been on an absolute tear lately. Love what their defense is doing. Tua, doing all right. More impressed with their run game, but I think they're going to be able to put up big points again. Not going to talk too long about it. I've got Miami locked in -3.5 over Denver this week. Who do you got?
For your upset, yeah, you got them. I got my upset. I like Las Vegas +8 over Kansas City. That is
I
my
thought
upset
about
this
that
week.
one.
Yeah.
And
I
you're just
think
taking
that
them to
game,
cover, or are you
I'm
going
taking them to
outright?
cover. Yeah. I think that game
Okay.
will be close. I don't think it'll be a blowout. I don't think Kansas City is, they're obviously probably the best team in the AFC, but I don't think they've hit their full stride yet. We've kind of
I would
talked
agree
about
with
that
that.
in Las Vegas. They've been playing well.
They have
I
been.
I think this game, AFC West matchup, I think it stays close. I'm taking the Raiders +8. Yeah.
All right. What about your upset? Let's just go right into it. Give me your upset this week.
Upset.
Yes, sir.
I am going to take. Oh wait, I'm sorry. That was my upset. I'm
Oh,
sorry. I
okay.
wrote
So give
these
me your lock
backwards.
then.
I wrote these backwards. Yeah. I my lock is my boy Tom Brady -4 over the LA Rams. My boy Tom Brady, Tampa Bay.
That is a bold
keeping it.
lock right
It is a
there.
bold lock. I was
Rams been
thinking
playing
about a
good.
different game, but
I like it.
I'm gonna roll with that this week. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So my lock, Miami -3 at Denver. Your lock, Bucks -4 against the Rams. Your upset, Raiders to cover the +8 over Kansas City. My upset, the Ravens. My Ravens are -5.5 point favorites over Tennessee. I'm going to take Tennessee to cover those points. We'll see if they win outright. I'm going to play your game on this one here because I need some wins. I think Tennessee +5.5. I'll take that all day. Homer picks. We're rolling right through these things.
Let's do it.
Homer picks. Mine's pretty easy. Minnesota is -7 point favorites at Dallas. Give me Minnesota and the points all day today and tomorrow. They're putting Andy Dalton back in. I don't know why. Dalton just said COVID kicked his ass. So I don't see him being 100% even with the bye week.
No, yeah.
And plus, they
Plus he's Andy Dalton.
terrible.
Yeah.
The first half, we'll play a little close, and then the second half, they'll just blow right away.
Yeah.
Your Patriots are -2 favorites at Houston.
Patriots.
Come on.
Money line.
Yeah, this is an easy one.
Let's get it.
This is
Win
an easy
streak
one.
keeps rolling, dude. Path to the playoffs becomes even more clear after this week. Not really. We need some help, but
Well, you're gonna
the
need.
win streak continues. The win streak continues.
I agree.
We're gonna keep it rolling, bro.
Good.
Patriots
Right.
money line, lock it in.
Well done. And we didn't do a lot of NFL coverage on this. We wanted to focus more on the NBA.
Yeah.
So don't worry, guys. Sunday night, Monday morning, whenever we record, we'll have plenty more NFL talk. I'm going to do a better job of keeping track of our records now that I went through, and that was such a pain in the ass to catch back up. But let's go over to the UFC here. Two big things happened in the UFC this week. We'll start with what is big news, but not the biggest. Anderson the Spider Silva has been released by the UFC.
Mm-hmm.
And all I want to ask you here real quick is, do you think that he fought longer than he should have?
Probably, but that's the way these guys go out most of the time, Like retiring on top is not typically what these guys do. Like that's what I mean with Khabib, retiring at the top of his game. Like that's not usually what happens, right? It's usually it goes out like this, where you get beat a bunch of times at the end of your career, and the UFC has to be like, dude, you can't.
Well, I feel like he's going the Cowboy Cerrone route here instead of. I mean, Khabib is the ultimate example, but look at DC, look at GSP. I mean, GSP is he retired? Is he not retired?
Yeah,
these guys went out facing high competition and either winning or if you're DC losing.
Yeah.
But no one said, "Oh, DC's washed." So like, okay, he's just got. I mean, Stipe and DC are his kryptonite.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, but he beat everybody else.
Yeah.
Silva's losing. I like Uriah Hall. He was in my favorite.
Silva's different in the regard that like he was considered for a long time the greatest UFC fighter of all time. Yeah. So it's a little different in that regard.
When's the last time he beat an impressive opponent? He lost to Weidman. He lost to Rockhold twice.
Yeah.
Or he lost to Weidman twice. He lost to Rockhold. He lost to now Uriah Hall.
You can argue
he lost to DC.
When's the last time he really beat anyone not doing steroids as well. Yeah.
You could. Sure.
So.
Yeah. I mean,
you
we'll
know,
see if he goes to Bellator or
yeah.
something. But I mean, he
It kind of
was in
gets
the GOAT
overlooked. Like that
conversation.
whole era, like that era where he was at his peak, like drug testing in the UFC was like not
Well,
really going
USADA
on.
wasn't really a thing, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. That was so you can say whatever you want during that time. I mean, he never looked like a guy that really like took steroids, but
No.
these guys that, they train overseas, they get away with a little more than what you would here.
Yeah, we got to get Chael Sonnen and the American Gangster on this podcast to tell us about that era and all those
Yeah,
steroids.
exactly.
He had an electric weekend bashing John Jones on Twitter. It was phenomenal to watch. But he's not part of our story. The big story, we've already reported this, we've talked about this plenty, but it's finally official. The return of the Mac, as everyone's calling it, Conor McGregor versus Dustin Poirier is 100% barring any kind of injury. Yep. January 23rd, UFC 257. That's going to be here a lot quicker than, it seems like. Mm-hmm. And I'm super excited to just have this officially on the books.
Yeah, of course. I mean, we're kind of expecting this. Super pumped. Anytime, you hear McGregor's going to be fighting again, it's got to get you excited, right? He's the, most electrifying athlete in sports. Is that possible, right? Or is that,
you're either he's Floyd Mayweather. You're going to watch him because you either love him or you're wanting to see him get smashed.
Yeah. Do you think this upcoming Tyson fight will outsell any McGregor fight?
No.
Yeah.
If it was a real boxing match, I think it would have a chance to beat some of McGregor's earlier work where he was doing around 1 million or just under 1 million pay-per-view buys. But because it's not an actual match and it's just like a sparring session, I'm going to watch it. It's November 28th, I believe. I'm going to watch it. I don't know if I'm going to pay for the pay-per-view. I'll probably find a way to watch it after the fact or, ignore my intellectual properties class that I'm in right now and find illegal ways to stream it. Allegedly, I might do that. You'll never know, people. But yeah, I mean, I want to see it. I mean, the dude looks jacked, and
it'll be interesting. But
I don't think it's going to outsell.
Yeah. Back to McGregor. I mean, it's disappointing. I mean, that'll be over a year from his last fight. It's like disappointing.
It's like right at a year, yeah.
Yeah, it's like. That's the one thing it makes me think is that was when we saw him fight last year. And it just seems like we lost another year of like McGregor in his prime, basically, which kind of sucks. But
now that COVID's cured,
now that we got the vaccine,
2021,
will there be fans of that? I don't think so.
Right? There might be. It depends on what's going on with this vaccine. I mean, if you saw, the rumors about this vaccine is they're doing all the health officials and old people first. Mm-hmm. And front lines that need it. And then it's supposed to be in December.
Anyone that needs to attend a UFC fight, yeah.
I mean, if it gets me McGregor, I don't care.
Right,
but,
yeah, hell yeah.
No, but they're targeting January and February as when they want to roll this out to everybody. Mm-hmm. So it's a McGregor fight. I feel like they're going to find a way to get fans there. They've gotten fans at football games. I mean, Texas A&M spreading COVID against the Gators a few weeks back with their 60,000 whatever fans in the stadium. Mm-hmm. You can just wear your masks. It's fine.
Yeah.
Just wear a mask. Be all right. You're going to have the vaccine. Even if you get COVID, you'll have the vaccine in a week anyway.
Exactly. Yeah, you'll be good. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll be all right. So we good on the sports talk, or was there any other?
Yeah, okay. You got an interesting topic to bring up here.
Yeah, so guys, every once in a while, we have to have – there's no bar-side conversations or anything today. I wanted to speak from the heart here. It's time for a little self-accountability. A lot of segments do where they were right, where they were wrong when it comes to sports talk. I'm going to do that with life. So this is a Brett's self-accountability session here. And I have to admit, a younger, foolish me was 100% wrong on a topic, okay? I'm at this point in my life, I haven't tried to go get a job yet. After leaving my last job, I'll probably start doing that this next coming week here. I'll really start digging in and trying to find something before the end of the year.
Yeah.
But, I'm trying to, I'm good money-wise, but, you try to pinch pennies here and there where you can and find good meals. And I was like, man, what is something cheap that I can eat that's not bad for my diet or not terrible for my diet? I was like, man, peanut butter. And if I just liked peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, I could eat a peanut butter and jelly sandwich for lunch every day. It would be filling. The bread might not be great, but it's not there are much worse things you can eat than a peanut butter and jelly sandwich when you're trying to be cheap,
got
right?
protein in that peanut butter.
Yeah. It's the best thing in the world. No, but it's not bad for you. I mean, it's not as bad for you. I don't know. I'm not a health expert, but from all I understand, in peanut butter jelly, you can get away with eating that for lunch and be good. So, man, I just wish I liked it. Let me try it. Let me go get a jar of the healthier Smucker's peanut butter. You know, the one that you got to stir it because the oil rises to the top or whatever. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah, like the one, if you watch The Office, the one that Michael Scott uses to get the gum out of his hair.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah, that peanut butter, it's the kind my dad grew up with, so I was familiar with it. I hated peanut butter my entire life. Okay, I didn't like the smell, didn't like the aftertaste. Like, I'll take a gamble here. Let me get that little jar and I'll try it. And I can't lie to you. The first day that I was planning on eating it, I cowered it out. I was like, no, let me just get a turkey sandwich. I can't do this right now. Can't do it. Next day I go in and, you know, it's like I equate this to when you haven't worked out in a while and you go back to the gym or you go back to doing your workout DVDs, whatever you do. Day one coming back, you don't just rush into the hardest setting or the highest weights. You got to ease yourself in.
Yeah.
That's what I did. I'm like, okay, I'm going to get my bread. I'm going to do a thin coat of peanut butter, and then I'm going to do more jelly, which that kind of negates the whole point of a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. But I'm going to do more jelly than peanut butter just to see if I can suffer this and be cheap for a couple months. I took a bite. I'm like, man. My first thought was, I don't know if there's enough peanut butter on this sandwich. This is pretty goddamn good. This is pretty phenomenal. So I can tell you, I did that. I think that was Tuesday. I have had at least one peanut butter and jelly sandwich every day since, and I'm going on a camping trip this weekend, and all I'm going to eat for lunch and dinner is peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. I'm in. Doesn't mean I'm going to want Reese's Pieces or everything peanut butter. I'm not there yet. But I got to tell you, I was a young, ignorant fool. I could have been enjoying peanut butter and jelly sandwiches if it weren't for my pathetic, horrible taste buds, you know, for 29, 30 years of my life. And I would just like to take this time to apologize to those people who have offered me peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, and I said, ew, gross. And I would like to apologize to peanut butter itself. We could have had a great relationship for many years, but I turned my back on you. I was wrong. And I just hope that someday peanut butter and all of Peanut Butter Nation can forgive me and accept me with open arms into this new community.
Yeah, I'm sure they will. Yeah. I mean, I'm in the peanut butter community. I accept you, and dude.
Oh,
it's a delicious treat. Peanut butter, PB&Js are a healthy snack. They're part of the food pyramid, and you should be enjoying them. I'm surprised you've gone this far in your life without it.
Well, I have tried peanut butter like once every 3 to 4 years, just in various forms.
Just to test. Yeah.
Well, some people, not even just a test. People go, oh, here, have a cookie. And I'll think it's a sugar cookie and it's peanut butter. I'm like, oh my God, this is fucking gross. Get this out of here.
Yeah.
And I just kind of shut it down. But it's 2020. You gotta end some of these beefs that you have in your life. It's not good to have all this negativity. Mm-hmm. Try new things. Go out there and do something. I took a chance and it turned out a new beautiful relationship is blossoming with peanut butter because of it. And I could be more happy.
Good for you, man. I'm happy to hear.
Thank you.
That peanut butter has made its way into your life. It deserves to be in your life. It's a beautiful delicious treat. Yeah,
it is. And you know, sometimes you just got to hold yourself accountable for being wrong. And I was 100% wrong. 100% wrong.
100% wrong.
Is there anything that you have? Maybe not an accountability thing. Is there anything that's on your mind? Anything pressing you right now that you feel you need to get off your chest for the peeps?
I don't got anything crazy, man. I'm just so I'm living back up here in Boston, dude.
Yep.
And you know, I lived in Florida for a long time, and there's traffic some places in Florida, but there's not Boston traffic. And I forgot how terrible Boston traffic can be. It's just, It's just terrible, dude. How do we still have traffic in 2020, man? Why is that real? Why is that still a thing, man? Where's Elon Musk? We need these underground cars. We need flying cars. We need
In Orlando, we're going to have the Jetson cars, so you just need some of them up there.
We need that as soon as possible. I need one of those flying cars. I'll take it. I said I wouldn't drive one. I will definitely take one. Yeah.
I'll never forget that the last time I was in Boston was in, I think, 2015,
Mm-hmm.
or maybe it was 2016, whatever Poppy's last year in Boston was, because I took my dad to Fenway during the spring or during the fall, winter time.
Yeah.
So we're up there, and I'll never forget it because there's just like this one curb. I don't even remember where it was. There's this one curb where it's a one lane, and then all of a sudden you turn and you're in the middle of like 8-lane traffic just coming to a dead stop, but you have to like Tokyo drift around that corner to safely get there because people are coming from like 8 different streets all converging at the same time. It's like,
that's Boston for you.
This is uncomfortable.
Yeah, the highways, all that shit, dude. It's crazy, dude. It's not like that's what I miss about Florida. Is it was all just straight highways. Here, it's just like everything crosses over and fucking, and then they wonder why traffic is backed up for like a half hour.
I've driven in a lot of majors outside of like California or Chicago. I've driven in most major cities. New York City, I've driven through. Boston, by far, is the worst traffic, most stressful traffic I've ever driven through. And I only have a handful of experience at it.
Yeah. You gotta be a different breed to survive that type of traffic, but it can be done. I'm sick of it, and hopefully, hopefully, be moving soon. Won't have to deal with as much traffic. Move closer to the job is the idea, right?
Traffic is brutal, man. I have no patience for it. No patience.
That's all I got. Yeah.
That's it. Well, I mean, that's good. I mean, that's fair. I mean, traffic stinks. I think everybody's out on traffic.
Yeah.
And guys, what are you thinking? We're thinking maybe a little Sunday night, Monday morning, depending on our schedules. Recording session coming up later this week. We thank you guys as always. In the comments, let's see. What do we want them to talk about in the comments this week? Who is your favorite? Who do you think was the best draft pick going in to the NBA draft on Wednesday? What pick did you like the most? But, let's wrap this bad boy up. If you guys haven't already, please subscribe to the channel on YouTube at Bush League Bros. Thank you to everybody else who already has. If you aren't following us on Facebook and the Twitter twatter at Bush League Bros, please go ahead and do that. We'll have some new interesting stuff coming up here pretty soon. But until next time, ladies and gentlemen, thanks a lot and peace.